We all have different lives, different goals and aspirations, different plans, and different things appear to be important for us. But although we are all so very different with different opinions and different points of view, we can very clearly see a very common pathway through life, especially when it comes to achieving financial outcomes. The very first stage is when we are young, just starting out after landing our very first job. Some are immediately saving for a home deposit. This is, however, a very small percentage of young population. Some are immediately buying a fancy car with expensive loans, a terrible idea just to impress friends or to have an adrenaline experience. Others are just enjoying life with friends, spending all their income on fun, while living from paycheck to paycheck will have a dire consequences later. Then the second stage of our life is when, in most cases, we start the family. We get married, have kids, buy the family home, have a mortgage. Some people are still in a kid zone, living from paycheck to paycheck, either because they want to impress everyone around them, often overextending their budget with loans, home loan, car loan, personal loan, loans for holidays or for furniture, buy now, pay later, credit cards, payments for private schools. I really don't know how those families manage with such financial burden. No wonder people are stressed and exhausted. But fortunately, there is a big group of people who grow up and take financial responsibility for their lives and their families. They live within their means, not overspending for fun stuff, but being careful with the budget and meeting their financial responsibilities. Each of those stages obviously is a big topic for discussion in their own rights and would benefit from proper financial coaching and advice. And then we get to the first phase of our lives when kids leave home and become independent financially. And I think from the finance perspective, this is when financial journey really starts and become exciting with lots of possibilities providing it is planned correctly. Therefore, the third stage is when we continue working. Your total income is your own. You can concentrate on finishing off your liabilities, commence property saving, invest into rental properties, add to superannuation, plan how much you need to save for your future or upcoming retirement. You can introduce tax management strategies. You can start a business you've always wanted. So as you can see, you have lots of choices. But too many choices create confusion and insecurity. And one of those situations is, should I pay extra to my mortgage or should I pay more to my superannuation? So today I will try to answer this common question. My name is Catherine Isbrand from About Retirement. I'm certified financial planner and you are watching About Retirement TV, the place that I created to assist you with whatever questions you might have about preparation financially for your successful retirement or how to improve that retirement financially if you're already there. So, what is better? Which strategy will give financially a better outcome? Paying off the mortgage as soon as possible or contributing extra to your super? Well, if you start Googling this question, you will find the following. Companies or people that are providers of either a product or a service or advice in superannuation space, such as super funds, financial planners. Yes, most financial planners are saying very convincingly that investing into superannuation will give you a better financial long-term outcome. And they will prove it with calculations, spreadsheets, and option comparisons based on certain assumptions. But generic articles from other sources not related to superannuation business usually believe that paying off the mortgage is a more secure option that provides a better outcome financially and emotionally. So, which answer is correct? What should you do in this situation? Which option should you choose? The problem is that there is not one correct answer. Well, why? As I mentioned before, we are all different. We all want different things and different outcomes. We all see money differently, and we all have a different understanding of financial risk and comprehension of the risk reward outcomes. But as a general rule, if you are on a higher income, investing extra into super as a salary sacrifice or your personal deductible contributions could be a more beneficial option. This is because concessional contributions are reducing your personal income tax. So the benefit is not only bigger savings in super with ongoing growth and income within your superannuation account, but also additional tax savings on your personal income. If you want to fully understand concessional contributions, you have 4 videos to choose from to watch and learn. Concessional contributions to super, what is SG? Concessional contributions to super, salary sacrifice. 4 reasons to make personal tax deductible super contributions and reduce tax through super. How much can I contribute to my super? If your income, however, is lower, hence the tax savings is not substantial, but you still have income surplus, then in most cases extra repayments to your mortgage will be better option. Financially, it will bring you more stability knowing that your home loan will be paid off before you retire. But the most important part is the emotional feeling of security, control, and ownership. Obviously, in either case, there are other factors to consider. For example, interest rates payable on mortgage. The higher the rates, the more you should concentrate on reducing your loan and not paying extra interest. But then there is an opposite argument as well. Shouldn't I pay extra to my mortgage while interest rates are low? Any extra funds paid will reduce my principal loan much faster. Therefore, if later a higher interest rate is being introduced, the loan principal has already been reduced and the loan will cost you less. But what about if we are in a phase of growing economy and share market, superannuation, all investments are growing dramatically? Why not invest more and take advantage of this situation? As you can see, you can argue any case. So I think you should simply follow this logic. Only worry about things that you can control. Don't second guess and only apply to your finances strategies with the outcome that is known and predictable. Also be flexible with your strategy and adjust as your circumstances change. We always need a solid financial plan, but because life is not numbers on a spreadsheet, you need to review, adjust, and update your plan as you go and as your life changes. So let's look at this comparison. Let's meet Jenny and Steve, a married couple, both aged 55, with planned 10 years till retirement. Jenny's gross income is $70,000, while Steve earns $150,000 per annum. They also own a family home valued $1.5 million with outstanding mortgage of $400,000. Steve has $500,000 in super while Jenny has $250,000. Scenario 1. They concentrate on mortgage repayments. Steve tax is $40,567 per annum So his net income is just over $106,000. Jenny's tax is just over $13,000 with net income of $55,000. Their total income for living is just over $161,000 with annual living expenses of $60,000 plus mortgage repayments. They have just negotiated their home loan for another 25 years term at 5% with minimum monthly repayments of $2,338, which equals to $28,056 per annum. Their income surplus then equals to $73,760. Therefore, they decided to make extra $5,000 per month mortgage repayments, which will reduce their mortgage from 25 years down to 6 years. Then the interest saved is $246,827 over the period of 6 years. So at the age of 65, they don't have any mortgage and the total superannuation balance is for Steve $786,000 and for Jenny $472,000. Therefore, their both combined superannuation funds amount to $1,258,000. Well, you might say this is a great outcome, and it is, but let's have a look at scenario 2. They maximize concessional contributions and then pay extra to mortgage. Steve's tax reduces to $36,000, which is a saving of $4,348 with net income just over $99,000. Jenny's tax reduces to $6,668 with the tax savings of $6,500 with net income of just over $42,000. So now the net disposable income is $141,000 per annum. Their surplus income now amounts to $53,000. They want to leave themselves a buffer of $15,000 per annum in case they want to have a good holiday or require urgent funds. So they decided to make extra payments to the mortgage of $3,000 per month. In this option, it will take 2 years longer to have the mortgage paid off, and the total interest saved now is almost $221,000, which is a difference of $25,500 of extra interest paid in comparison to previous scenario. But what happens to their superannuation balances at 65? Well, Steve's total super fund now is worth $882,000. Jenny's total super, $572,000. So they have altogether over $197,000 more in their superannuation funds than in option 1. So if you compare this scenario by implementing salary sacrifice and paying extra to super, although reducing mortgage repayments, they will end up with $197,000 more in their superannuation. Although they had to pay over $25,000 extra in interest on mortgage, they in the meantime save tax of over $108,000 over the period of 10 years. So over the term of 10 years, at the age of 65, they would be $280,000 better off than just paying the mortgage as per option 1. That is really a very compelling argument. Obviously, calculations are based on certain figures. Set mortgage rate, which I calculate based on 5% per annum. Set superannuation rate of return, I calculated based on 6.5 net of any costs. This calculator and outcomes will be different in every situation, depending on your gross income, value of your mortgage, total superannuation balance, your age, your set expenses, time till retirement, risk you are able to accept, and obviously the actual economy that will impact interest rates on your mortgages as well as returns on your super. But there is another item that needs to be taken into equation, especially if you are on lower incomes than Jenny and Steve, from our example, and that is age pension. Each scenario will give you a completely different age pension outcome, and that needs to be taken into consideration from the start. And that is really where financial advice is absolutely crucial. But as I said before, in planning, concentrate on what you know and what you can control and stop wishing or second guessing. So if you are in a similar situation that Steve and Jenny and you want to know the best option for you, feel free to organize the consultation with me through my website aboutretirement.com.au. And while you are visiting my website, don't forget to sign up for my newsletter to be kept up to date with all the changes that can impact your retirement. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe to this channel not to miss my next exciting video, how to be best prepared for your retirement or how to maximize your money for your benefit over the years. And now my recommendation, first video, concessional contributions to super, salary sacrifice, strategy explained in a slightly different and exciting way. Second video relates to today's topic, should I withdraw from super to pay off my home loan? Enjoy, and I will speak with you in my next video. Bye for now.